Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Snap Material. Evan Bevins sitting right over there. I'm Jesse Starcher. Well, previous season, released January 2nd, 2024, Planet Hulk hit the Marvel Snap scene. We're going to talk about some of the cards, what we if we had any interaction with them. First up is Skaar, which was a 6 cost, 11 power, costs 2 less for each of your cards that has 10 or more power. Did you spring for this season to get that card?
Well, I don't know if you can call it springing for it when you saved up Google credits. From taking surveys, but I sprung. I still had like $1 in it or something. I did because Skaar, the card looked interesting. The character, I probably haven't read enough to have a great opinion of him. But I was like, man, the featured cards this season, I want all the extra help I can get. And some of them looked like they could work pretty well with Skaar.
Okay.
That's what tipped the balance for me.
Well, let me ask you, since you bought the season, I've not bought one yet. I assume you enjoy going up the ranks more or at least the season pass.
The ranks, no, I didn't go very far in that regard. But going up through the season pass, you do get a few more things. You get an extra card back, some more variants, stuff like that. I don't take good enough notes to know if there's a big difference between that and what I would have done without it.
Mm-hmm.
My main thing was, well, if I can get some more credits and some more gold, maybe I can boost my chances at getting some of those cards. And spoiler alert, it didn't work.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, as far as Skaar goes, did you enjoy playing with him in the decks or what?
Skaar was a useful addition there. I used him a lot to get some extra things on the weekend and ended up, since you need those high power cards to lower his cost, I tried a few different things, but I ended up integrating him into my Balkanaut deck, formerly known as Shulkanaut, although once they nerfed Blob, he eventually got squeezed out of that deck.
Really?
Yeah, and I also found that if you're going to have a lot of high-power cards, then it might be useful to throw Lady Sif and Black Knight in there.
Okay.
Because Black Knight creates an ebony blade with the same power level as the card you discarded. Sif always takes out the highest cost card in your hands. Then you've got another, usually over 10 card you can use to help get Skaar out there. Now, very rarely did I get him down to 0, but occasionally you can get him down to 2, and really 4 is a vast improvement over 6.
And it has to be the 10 power card has to be laid out there in order to knocked. Okay, gotcha. All right.
With Sif and the Ebony Blade, which is a 4 cost card, regardless of the power it ends up. And then also you have the chance of Ghost Rider bringing him back, the way I built the deck. That gave me a lot of options for getting Skaar in there.
Saw a lot of Skaar this season for sure, this past season. I'm trying to think of what I would normally see him in. I would assume that the deck strategy that you're talking about is clearly what everybody else is trying to employ, unless you're looking at just having him in there to use Lockjaw to try and bring him out quicker.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We've talked about this on a couple of our lists. I love Lockjaw. I love Lockjaw in the game. I can't usually make Lockjaw work for me. It's probably an Evan problem, not a Lockjaw problem. He's a good boy. I don't know. I did try a couple of Lockjaw experiments with one of the cards I did finally manage to unlock. Mine mostly came back to decks where I was already going to have a lot of high-powered cards. Blob, Shulkanaut, I combined those, but then with the nerf to Blob, where he absorbs the cards until he gets 15 or more, just put Giganto in there.
Right.
And Giganto is limited too, but he doesn't reduce the size of your deck. I still like the Blob. The nerf didn't render him unusable. I mean, he's still a pretty decent card, but I just found other cards that worked a little better for me. I can't remember if I said this, but with Black Knight and Sif in there, strategy or not, I like to name my decks. That deck became the Savage Sword of Shulkanaut.
Perfect. I think Skaar definitely caused me some trouble, but made me lean on Shang-Chi a lot. I did have Shang-Chi in a lot of my decks this past season, and I'm thinking I will be having the same thing happen this coming season as well.
Shang-Chi is find me a bad time to put Shang-Chi.
Right, exactly. Well, to kind of also tie into that, the next card is Kyera, 3 cost, 4 power card. Ongoing, your 1 and 6 cost cards cannot be destroyed. It wasn't too fun seeing her, but I can tell you that it was the decks that I was seeing were Thanos decks, like that had Infinity Stones, and she comes out, she guards the 1 cost, and then Kazar. That's a lot of what I saw. Also, I honestly think I saw her more with 1 cost cards than I did with 6 cost cards for some reason. And
well,
that might be
it's
because
easier to get a lot of them out there.
Exactly.
I definitely wanted her for my Shulkanaut Skaar decks, which is why I used 2 spotlight keys on her, even though I've said for a while I was saving up for Beta Ray Bill. I used 2 spotlight keys, and I got Hit Monkey, which is, let me tell you, inspired MODOK levels of excitement.
Oh, man. 1 and 6 cost cards can't be destroyed. I didn't like seeing her when she come out because I was like, crap, I don't really usually have an answer for her. You could have one pretty easily with Enchantress. Up next would be Hercules. A 4 cost.
A card made for Jesse Starcher.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, the Bounce House deck welcomed Hercules in the first time.
Power.
The first time another card moves here each turn, move it to another location. And I want to say this is I need to pull up Snap real quick and look, but is he 6 power or did he get buffed to 7?
He got buffed to 7.
Okay. I think he got buffed to 7, which is pretty crazy in that short amount of time that he's out there. I accidentally stumbled upon getting Human Torch into the deck, and Iron Fist and Ghost Spider, it made Human Torch get massive. Iron Fist, Human Torch into Hercules. Hercules bounces him back. Okay. And then turn 6 involved Ghost Spider grabbing Human Torch, bringing him back into Hercules, and Hercules bouncing him back again. That was, I think, 4 moves, because it was 1 Iron Fist, Hercules, then Ghost Spider, Hercules. So
get him up to a 32.
It got him up there. At one point, I can't remember what was, if it was Sinister London or something that was out there. I had 2 Hercs out in there, and nice. Human Torch was just bouncing all over the place. And I will tell you that this was the first time that I'd played Human Torch in a very, very long time. What other things did I use with Hercules for? In the Bounce House deck, he was nice to have out there to pump up Vulture. My Bounce House deck took a complete turn because I never had Vulture in there. I did not have Human Torch in there. How'd you feel about Herc? Did you run into him at all?
Not a whole lot. I saw him used with some of the move cards, but he didn't really have a whole lot of impact on mine. I like the move decks. I'd like to try him out. I did not get him. I believe when I took my shot at him, I ended up with Howard the Duck, and I even own the Howard the Duck movie, so you're not going to get me to complain about having Howard the Duck. You sent me a couple messages. You were enjoying Hercules, but I have not gotten in on the action yet. I always liked him in the comics, though.
You wrote down Kingpin, and I forgot. I had created a deck with Kingpin in it. It was kind of nice to have other people get swung into the Kingpin, and the Kingpin drop them down a little bit.
Does he still affect your cards, or is it only opposing cards?
It is only opposing cards.
Okay, well then that's even better.
Right. He will only do that to opposing cards. All right, next up was Meek, who I thought was going to be a fantastic addition, combining the discard and move. Meek is a 1 cost, 1 power card. After each turn, if you discarded any cards, gain +1 power for each card and move. Getting Meek out there on turn 1's great, but you need to be discarding stuff the whole time. And I don't know. He didn't seem to make much of a difference to me, but I don't think he was really set up to be a difference maker. He's just somebody that's, going to get out there and start gaining a little bit of power, and by the end, maybe you got him up to a 4 or a 5, provided you discarded some stuff. If you're doing well enough, by the end of it, you could maybe have him up to a 5 or a 6 or something like that. I'd like to see him get buffed a little bit. I don't know, maybe instead of +1, +2 power would be great. As far as Meek goes, I wanted him to be more than what he ended up being, but that's fine. He doesn't have to be somebody that overturns the game. He's a useful card that's out there to kind of help discard along. I think this season there's definitely one discard related card that's upcoming.
Mm-hmm.
He might find some more use, or at least a little bit more of a home.
A couple of them.
You run into Meek at all?
I saw him here and there, and I think at that point I was saving everything for Beta Ray Bill. Tried Kyra twice, Hercules once. I don't think I took a shot at Meek. I've seen him, and it didn't make a huge difference, but I can see where he can be useful. A lot of one-cost cards outside of Sunspot is about the only one-cost card that I can think of off the top of my head that can be like a huge threat by itself. Now, there's ones that combo very nicely, but I can see Meek working in the right circumstances.
All right. Next up is a Grandmaster, 2-cost, 0-power card. On reveal, move one of your other on-reveal cards here to the middle location. Its ability happens again. I did not get this card. I saw it a couple times. I can't say that it really upset me too much. I did see a couple neat plays with it where a guy used Shang-Chi and then Grandmastered the Shang-Chi over to the middle location and Shang-Chi'd again.
Yeah.
he was able to win with that.
The only thing worse than one Shang-Chi is two. It's always good to have a double on reveal. I guess he's kind of like I don't know, not a reverse Wong, but the one that I saw, I'm trying to remember, I think somebody played him on Bar Sinister.
Oh.
Which was just weird. He kept grandmastering himself to the center. I could see he'd be fun to mess around with. But I need a Goldblum variant.
Yes, of course.
Preferably with authentic audio.
Yes. And, of course, the autograph variant.
I saw him a few times. I think I remember thinking, oh, crap, but he never really messed me up too badly. In the right circumstances, Shang-Chi or some others, I could see him dropping him next to Black Panther, something like that. He could be a problem.
Right.
But I think maybe it takes a little more precision or finesse than just Wong and then dropping people on Wong. Venom, he could be pretty nasty with Venom.
Yes, he would, because you would
swallow 2 locations full of cards.
Right. All right. Well, last on the list, Beta Ray Bill, 4-cost, 6 power now, not 5, 6 power. On reveal, shuffle Stormbreaker into your deck. Stormbreaker is a 0-cost, 1-power card whose on reveal double Beta Ray Bill's power. I threw this in a deck. I went out and got it. You went out and got it. We were both looking for some Beta Ray Bill, and I actually did. I put the card in there. I auto-filled the deck, and I came up with a very good deck just by doing the autofill, placing Beta Ray Bill in there by itself. This is what it put: Wasp, Sunspot, Iceman, Okoye, Hulkbuster, Lockjaw, Magic, Thor, Shang-Chi, Beta Ray Bill, Jane Foster, and then Odin.
Okay.
The lighter ones, the 0-cost Wasp and all that, it was just Lockjaw fodder, pretty much.
Right.
And I was able to win. I was able to win some games with Beta Ray Bill. I saw a insane and just absolute insane power that Beta Ray Bill got to. It was a combo of Beta Ray Bill was in the center section and the center lane, and then on the outside lane was Onslaught Citadel.
Nice.
And the guy had placed Wong in there, and he also placed Nico.
Okay.
He got Nico to double her power. He lays her out, and I think it was a Wong Mystique Nico Stormbreaker situation, all on Onslaught Citadel, and it was insane. Beta Ray Bill got up to like 6 digits, if I remember correctly. And
nice.
so did Nico, because Nico was doubling from 2. It was amazing. It was an amazing play. Beta Ray Bill, useful. I saw him played a lot. What was your interaction with Beta Ray Bill?
Well, I made at least 3 different Beta Ray Bill decks, all of them involving Thor and Jane Foster. And I think I went back and forth a couple times with Odin and Wong, or having both of them in there. The one I did that sounded similar to your auto deck, I had Wasp, Sunspot, Forge, Medusa, Lockjaw, Magic, Thor, Absorbing Man, Beta Ray Bill, Jane Foster, Odin, and Skaar. I figured, hey, I'm going to be boosting a lot of these people up. Should be able to get Skaar in there, even though nobody was a base 10 power. But Lockjaw, I don't usually have a lot of success with for whatever reason. Let's see. I did some of the others. Always up for bringing Darkhawk and the Rock Twins.
Oh, yeah.
back in there.
Rocks and
So
Hawks.
there you go. I got them in there with old standbys like Sunspot and Nebula. And since I had Darkhawk and Beta Ray Bill, put Zabu in there, armor to protect them when they got boosted up. And then another deck that I named MCU Hammer. Put Howard the Duck in there to watch him, Echo to keep Enchantress or Cosmo from breaking things up. And then Hulkbuster, because what I was running into is when you got hammers out there or multiple hammers, you're going to be filling it up fast. Hulkbuster can give you some points and save you a space.
Right. He'd save you
And
space.
with Beta Ray Bill, since Stormbreaker doubles his power instead of just adding to it, that can really boost it up. But I don't know. I didn't ever have any real consistency with it. And I kept saying, like, I never seemed to pull Beta Ray Bill and Thor in the same game.
Oh, that'd be so aggravating.
Like one or the other, but I thought, what would Jesse Starcher do? He would keep stats. I did 10 games with the Thor Beta Ray Bill deck.
Okay, all right.
I went 4-6.
Ooh, okay.
And let's see, I even charted whether I got Beta Ray Bill, Thor, and was able to play the hammer. Let's see, I got the first 4, I played Thor 3 times and Beta Ray Bill once. Never in the same one. The 5th one, Lockjaw brought Thor in, and I was able to play Beta Ray Bill.
Okay, all right.
I lost that one.
Jeez.
And then the last 3, I managed to play both of them on 2 and lost those. I don't know. It just wasn't much rhyme or reason to it. But when it worked, I did go back, and I don't mean to be that guy, but I got Beta Ray Bill up to 7 figures.
Oh, nice.
6,291,452, but I had a little help.
What?
He and Thor weren't supposed to be on the same location, but my opponent played Magneto and yoinked them over to the same one. I forget the total sequence of events. Oh, but I had Wong on Onslaught Citadel, both Hammers and Odin.
Oh, nice.
On Onslaught Citadel, and I think I had Beta Ray Bill in the middle location. And this was with Lamentus 1 in play, too.
Oh,
so
my
I had
gosh.
just the exact right ones. But Magneto pulled them over onto Fisk Tower. That Beta Ray Bill total probably should have been 291,456, but I lost 4 when I went over to Fisk Tower.
Ouch.
I don't know the exact sequence, but that's how it ended up. I won that one with Elsa Bloodstone, Thor at 124, and Wong at -2. I won Fisk Tower 6,291,577 to 23. I lost Onslaught Citadel 12-9 because they had death there, and then Lamentus 1, I won 4-3.
Oh my gosh. It all comes down to that 1 point.
6.3 million points on one side, and I won the game by 1 point.
That's too funny, man.
It's tons of fun. I just, for whatever reason, am not sticking the landing with the Hammer Brothers. But I am going to keep calling them the Hammer Brothers.
Oh, I love it. That's great.
So it's a lot of fun. Love Beta Ray Bill. Cannot wait for a Dan Hip Beta Ray Bill.
Ooh, it's got to be in the cards.
And then, who was it? I think it's a guy on Twitter. I think his Twitter handle is Snaplore. Right before the season started, he made a Snap card that said Beta Ray Bill. It was supposed to be the Pixel variant, and it was a Hammer Brother from one of the old Mario Brothers games.
Oh, that's funny.
Which I would absolutely accept that. I think there's licensing issues, but I would totally accept that variant. Loads of fun, but I haven't quite hit the sweet spot with him. But man, and then I went back. I wasn't making much progress. I had kind of moved on from Beta Ray Bill for a little while, and then when Bar Sinister hit, I brought him back, and there were some games where I would have easily triple-digit Bar Sinister scores with Beta Ray Bill, and then lose the other 2 locations.
But it felt good to get him up there.
Oh, yeah. For whatever reason, I had a very hard time getting Beta Ray Bill and Thor to show up at the same time.
Interesting. Huh. Well, trust me, there's been days where I have complained about the stupid draws that I have and how am I not getting these cards? There's only 12 cards in this deck. I've been there. All right. Locations. Great portal. Add a random card with 10 power to your hand. I think I stuck with what I was saying here. I packed Shang-Chi in my deck for sure. I can't remember if I legioned this one too much, but I definitely had Quinjet in there.
Oh, come on. You'll Legion Pet Avengers Mansion if you get the chance.
I wish I could. I would do it. This one, these two locations, Great Portal was probably the one that I did play. Some on that day. The next one I didn't. But as far as add a random card with 10 or more power to your hand, I can't think of anything spectacular that happened. I got a card, and that was about it.
Not a whole lot. Not really bad, unless I think one time I was playing a Cerebro deck and it came up. And,
Bro, that is.
I remember getting Typhoid Mary and Red Skull a couple times.
Cerebro is such a problem when it comes to locations. Because locations can easily just, okay, well, I can't win with this deck now. You can try, but it's whatchamacallit's out there. Xandar's out there. And now all those guys on that lane have +1. So, and then Crown City was whoever is winning here gets +4 power at adjacent locations. I did say I wanted to Legion that, but I didn't hardly play during Crown City. And plus, I thought to myself, well, if I Legion that, I don't know if that's really going to make much of a difference. Like the center location is about the only thing that could possibly you'd want to shoot for. So you could maybe try and win the 2 outside lanes, but the other guys trying to win 2 lanes as well. I don't know.
It seemed like I kept getting it like not at the center location. Although 4 extra points is nothing to sneeze at, but I don't know, it still didn't seem to be too impactful.
Right.
It can be useful, but I think we were talking last time about where it would fit in terms of locations you want to try to fill, and I still would rank it below the Raft or the White Hot Room.
Right. I'll agree.
But above Sacred Timeline.
Yeah, I'll agree.
Sacred Timeline, if you have just like a really awesome first hand, then sure. But usually Sacred Timeline's not a priority for me at all. I think I did have one game where we had the Raft and the White Hot Room, and I went Raft.
You had to make a choice. As far as trends when it comes to the meta, anything stand out to you at all?
Not really. I wasn't the only one who veered away from Blob. His nerf wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, but it just put him more in line. There's less upside to him.
Right.
It didn't kill his upside, but you're just like, yeah, well, we'll see what else we can do. And especially in the deck I was using where I was trying to discard one, there's no incentive to have Blob in there because if you discard him, you're only going to get 4 points for him, 4 energy in the with the Ebony Blade.
The Ebony Blade. He
just didn't work there. Black Knight was somebody I used a lot.
Wow.
This season. I really like that Ebony Blade. Indestructible, can't be reduced. The only thing that can get rid of it is a discard.
I did not remember that the Ebony Blade was indestructible and played Shang-Chi on him yesterday. And I was like, what happened? And I even did the mad emote to the card, and I was so mad. I was like, what was wrong? And then I read it. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's indestructible. Felt like such an idiot.
I had somebody play Shang-Chi on it once, and I'm like, don't laugh. Don't laugh. Because, I don't know about you. The Deadpool emoji, I use the Deadpool emote when someone's hit me badly or when something hasn't gone my way. Really, to borrow a phrase from The Simpsons, Frost Mike Helvenator, when somebody plays it when something bad happens to me. Like, Deadpool's supposed to be a self-deprecating remark, I think. Not a ha-ha. It's like, no, I know I screwed up. I can see I'm losing. I don't know. Maybe I'm taking it the wrong way. I try not to take the emotes personally. It's still not as bad as snap, 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 snap.
Mute.
But I don't know. I don't think that's the way that Deadpool should be used.
I'll agree. I've become a sore loser, I think, when it comes to emotes, because what I have done recently is I get so mad that anytime if somebody does the thing Hulk Fist, I'm fine. I'll be like, okay, all right.
That's a good game.
That's a good game. But when somebody does the thumbs up to me afterwards, oh man, it is thumbs up, point, thumbs up, thumbs up. I send that right back at him.
I use the thumbs up when somebody gets rid of the Mindscape or the Dream Dimension.
Oh, yeah.
Or when somebody makes a nice play.
Well, that's all right. That's okay.
And then Spider-Man, I guess you could use the Spider-Man point if something crazy happens, but usually the Spider-Man point is, hey, you played the same card as me. I don't like it when somebody's like, oh, I just destroyed your card and ruined your strategy. Spider-Man point? No. No, sir.
Thanks a lot for joining us. Make sure to tune in tomorrow for the next installment of Snap Material.